So here we are. This stuff is from Spotlight. It used to be called USA Style way back in the day. I've had this for close to 8 years at this point. Because I'm running an Etsy store where I am curating these flower scrunchies. You just slip them over your head, your ponytail, your pigtails. I want to be able to craft more items for my Etsy shop. Therefore, this yarn, I am going to be turning it into heavy-duty shopping bags. These heavy-duty shopping bags, they are going to be ideal for carrying big bags of flour, specifically from places like Costco and all that stuff. They don't really have handles. This stuff is made from acrylic. I'm pretty sure I did say that. They're not made of cotton because the cotton is not going to be as strong as the acrylic in the long run. Cotton gets softer as you wash it, which means the fibers pull apart and they degrade. So my baby's asleep. Look at all that. So this is it here. I'll show you my scaffold. I am on the last row. So I've made 12 rows of this stuff. It just starts off with a regular granny square, and then I do chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, repeat, and then this is the negative space that I fill out. I don't put decorative stitches. This is just netting. It works up really, really quickly too. Today is another day, so I made a lot of progress yesterday. This is it here. What makes this extra heavy duty is I haven't gotten that far yet, but once I am done with this initial row, I then, alright, so once I'm done with this initial row and I finished off there, I then lengthen my yarn all the way down here, and then I start again here, making this double layered. I had a brilliant thought yesterday because I've made bags similar to this in the past, and I would just make this solid. I wouldn't have the handles here, and I would make super really big fat rope thick handles, and I would sew them in, and like that sucks. That is way too much effort, time. It just sucks. So I realized that, like, hang on, I can make slit handles like this, which aren't my favorite because the strength isn't there. It stretches out. It's just not great. It goes bad. However, I realized that I can just double it up the same way. I might have to like slip stitch as I go along to connect everything, so I'm not having to like sew it all in at the end. But even then, that takes less time and effort than traditionally making handles and sewing them in, especially when you've got 4 ends to weave in. But yeah, this is going to be sweet. Because it's acrylic as well, I think I forgot to mention, acrylic is very, very, very stretchy. My goal is to make this carry like the 25 kilo bags of flour at Costco. Anything really 25 kilo. I think that should be the max weight. I'm hoping I didn't make this too big because of how much it stretches. I don't want this to have like this much stretch once it's in there. So like that's all trial and error. I'll get back to you once I am not only on the second side of single crocheting this brim and handle, but I'll be trying to show my process of making this work together, because I don't know how well it's going to work. It just sort of came up in my head, and I have like aphantasia in that way. Like I can see how crochet projects should grow and work out, but if I've never done it before, it's not going to compute as well. So once I'm there, I'll be able to figure it out quite easily. I've now finished my front rows. So what I'm going to do is I am not going to cut. I am going to make this long. I'm going to turn it around. I have now finished making this front side of my brim as well as the handles that are connected inside of it. So I'm now going to flip this over And there are 3 single crochet in each of these netted loops, holes, whatever you want to call them, negative spaces. There is 3 stitches in each negative space. So I'm going to go directly underneath. I'm going to make sure that my working loop is as long as possible, because we're not cutting it. Okay, so now I try and give it a little tug. Now I've got my loop situated here. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be a bit flimsy. So I grab my working tail, pull it through the loop. It is massive. That's okay. Things will eventually tighten up a bit. So now I do 3 single crochet in each of these loops. So these loops are technically going to contain 6. 1. I sort of try and go in between the stitches, but it's not perfect. 2, and then 1 more. It's hard for me to do this and show it into the camera. This is not intended to be a beginner tutorial. Okay, so that's 3. I'm going to tighten up what I can here. Okay, that's good. Alright, now let's just keep adding 3 to all of these spaces. So fold in half. Oh god, I'm gonna have to look through the camera to do this, otherwise it's just not going to show up for you guys. 1, 2, 3. It's gonna be fun trying to figure out where do you want to put your stitches. Just anywhere they'll fit. Try and do it in between the single crochets. Don't stress if it's not perfect, because it's a utility bag, not a pretty fashion runway bag. So that's how you're going to get this double-sided. And then once I've gone around up to the top here, I'm pretty sure I just slip stitch it all the way through. When it comes to these handles here, that's going to be a learning curve for me, and I am very close. So let's do that together. I'm not going to be there yet, actually, because it's going to be another couple rows. So I'll meet you there when I get there. It'll be very quick for you guys, not for me. I am now up to the handle. So technically this handle here, it starts to float around the 2nd row, because it's the 3rd row where I created the chains to form the handle. So what I do here is I locked it in on these stitches here too, where it's not the handle, the beginning and end. So I've locked it in here too with this method. So, yep. So I go into my stitch, pull up a loop, but I don't finish off the single crochet yet. I make sure the yarn is in the back. I go into my handle part, pull the top stitch loop through that way, and then I finish off my single crochet. I'm not just crocheting the 2 ends together, because this is how do I explain it? This is the 1st row, and this is the 1st row of the back here. This is the 2nd row of the front, and I'm not combining the 2nd and 1st rows together like that, whereas I can combine them on this top part stitch here, and then that makes sense, because I'm working as the 2nd row. I hope that makes sense. I'm not sure. Either way, just make sure the top stitches are connected. That way it's level and not the bottom part of the stitch. Did I do that right? I'm confused because I'm looking at it through my camera. Just like that. I didn't show it because I've already done it and I didn't care. But I have slip stitched around here, and I am now going back into this. And then once I'm on the 4th row, I'll be crocheting into the slip stitches I've done, and this will then connect and be thick like this part here. So I am now crocheting the 2 sides together. So this is the handle when it's all fully done properly. This is how it looks without sealing it together first. It's very good. My baby's trying to eat me. So how I'm sealing this together is just with a simple crab stitch, or also known as a reverse single crochet. Let's do a couple of them for the camera, or just one, because crocheting with this doohickey on my chest is a little bit mental. Alright. Hello, I have finished my bag yesterday. I think it's a bit too big. I put my baby in it and she weighs about 10 kilo, and oh my gosh, it stretched. So officially, once I go to Costco and put in a 25 kilo bag, I'll be able to determine how much is too long. And then for my second iteration, I'll be able to reduce the amount of rows by an X amount. And then I'll produce those and then sell that onto Etsy. So this is going to be for my home. But look at this. This is the double layered extra strong brim that has the handle built into it. I connected it all here with the slipping the top part of the chain through, and then with this here I did like slip stitches, and then for the next row above that I crocheted into those slip stitches. So it just makes all of this interconnected. I am so very proud of what I was able to achieve. This is a awesome little bag. Oh yeah, and pro tip, you know how you do like a slip knot? This is how I tie off my bags. So, you know, you tighten it, and then you grab your 2 strands, and then you make a slip knot with the tail obviously facing out, so you're able to tighten it. It's very easy to act exactly as a bow, where you just grab your 2 ends and then pull it to loosen it. This reduces the amount of handiwork when tying the typical like shoelace bow. I find this is easier and better, and it has a better tightness. It just holds better. It doesn't slip apart nearly as easily. It's stronger. Anyway, I think this is the end of this video. Ciao!